Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Haunted Basement Studio. I'm your host, Triple B, and in this comic book review, we are going to be doing The Monster and the Wolf by Mark Spears right here. And of course, there was like 70 different blind bag covers. Looks like I picked up 3 of them right here. And this is a new ongoing series, and that's what I found out when I read it all. So let me go ahead and tell you about The Monster and the Wolf by Mark Spears. All right, in the beginning of this book, we are in Antarctica, and it totally reminds me of John Carpenter's The Thing, as we got this dude walking in the snowy blizzard named Clint Abbott, and he's got a white wolf next to him, and he's telling the wolf about the story that his father would tell him when he was younger. And so, as they sit by the fire pit, the last fire of the night, because he knows the very next day he's going to get to the research facility. And so he's telling the white wolf here about the monster and the wolf, how nobody knows who created the monster, but he once was a man with a kind soul. But the world is cruel, and after betrayal and heartbreak and love loss, the wrath, the rage consumed the monster, so all he could see was evil. Evil overtook him. And with the wolf knew that every day was a struggle just to survive. He had to fight, he had to hunt, he had to find shelter no matter what, just to survive. And he didn't let the cruel world get into him. He just knew that's how it was, that's how it had to be. And so the monster is on the opposite side of the wolf. The monster hates the world and how he has to survive, but the wolf has just let it in and knows that's just how it is. One night beneath the silver moon, the monster and the wolf met deep in the forest. The monster, seeing the wolf's steady gaze, was filled with envy, saw in the wolf all that it has lost, the purpose of living. The wolf in turn looked into the monster's hollow eyes and did not see evil. It saw pain. For a long time, neither spoke. They only stared into each other's souls, shaped by suffering and standing on different paths. Finally, the monster broke the silence and says, "Why are you not like me?" And it growled, and the wolf's ears tucked back, "Because pain is not who I am. It's only something I walk through." The monster's claws twitched and its jaws clenched. "I did not choose to be this way." "No," the wolf agreed, "but you choose to remain this way." And now Clint would say that his dad would say, "Don't become the monster, always be the wolf." And now the next day, they make it to the research facility, not knowing that Clint, there's frozen dead bodies all around the facility in the snow. As he makes his way in, he looks at the white wolf and says, "You stay here because I have a feeling there's something wrong, and I'm sure you sense that as well." Now, as Clint is walking through the facility, alarms are going off, buzzers going everywhere. There's nobody there. He's wondering what the hell happened here. And as he walks deeper into the facility, he goes into this room, and there's a scientist there behind the door that tries to take Clint down, but Clint knocks him down on the ground and says, "What are you doing?" The scientist says, "Well, we had a lot of doctors here because we found some sort of creature frozen in the ice for over a century. As we were trying to extract DNA samples out of it, we realized the creature wasn't dead." And then all the scientists got so scared that they took out of the facility, and most of them froze to death out in the elements. I'm the only one left. And a few days later, the military came and took the creature. And then he asked Clint, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Well, your DNA doctor told me about a serum that you had, and I'm here for the serum." He says, "Oh yes, we do have only one vial left. Let me take you to where it's at." And now as this scientist takes Clint to this chamber, he says it's in there. And when Clint walks into it, the Scientist hurries up and shuts the door and locks him in there. And Clint says, "What the hell are you doing? Let me out of here." And the scientist says, "No, I tricked you. I know who you are," and grabs the last vial of serum and pours it down on the ground as Clint's saying, "You better let me out of here. I'm giving you a warning. I'm giving you a chance to take a head start." And as Clint starts to transform, it seems like you're like, "What is going on?" And he says, "Oh, by the way, the monster is on its way because I seen him. He's been tracking me here. I saw him just last night, and he's closer than you think." And the scientist says, "The monster's here." And all of a sudden, Frankenstein comes busting into the facility and rips the scientist's arm clean off. As Clint breaks out of the chamber that he's in, he turns into the Wolf Man. And he says, "Sorry, Dad, but I am the monster." End of chapter 1. And there is a lot more exposition in this book. I just kind of glanced over it and read just a little bit about it to you all, but definitely go check it out so you can read a little bit more about the story. I didn't want to give it all away, but that's kind of what it is. Though Clint pulled the switcheroo on us, thought maybe that he was the wolf, but no, he is the monster, but the monster is a wolf. Wait, what is going on? What is Mark Spears doing? I don't know, but man, we definitely gonna have to check out issue number 2. Man, and also the art in this book is phenomenal. Just the art in it is worth a buy. So you definitely want, if you like comic books and you like comic book panels, this is one that you definitely got to check out. Mark Spears is a super hot freaking artist, writer right now, so you might want to jump up on this. Like I said, there was like 70 different freaking blind bags for this one. So I'm sure you can go find this book super cheap and get up on it because, you know, his first run of Monsters, man, blew up, worth a lot of money, great story, great art. So I'm pretty stoked. I thought maybe this was just a one shot because I thought Monsters was still going on. I think Monsters probably still is going on right now, but we'll have to check to find that out. But overall, great story. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I love the cliffhanger at the end. I want to see where it's going to go. I like how we get a lot of story kind of in the beginning, and then you get a lot of pages where it's just art, and the art is telling you the story, and then at the end we get some more dialogue in it, so it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I can't wait to check it out. I'm going to have to put this on my pull list. Tell me about you. So story, 8 out of 10. Art, 10 out of 10, of course. Mark Spears is always making some sick-ass interior art, some sick-ass covers. All right, man. Tell me what you all think about this in the comment section below. And remember, come by Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, where I'm live and I'm talking to you guys about the hottest covers of the week. So, Triple B's is out of Haunted Basement Studios. Stab that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And hit that bleeping bell so you be notified when new content, new unboxing videos, new comic book reviews, and when I go live, baby. All right, Triple B's is out of the Haunted Basement Studio, and I want you to remember one thing. You keep it haunted. Comics. Laters.